My name is Chris Zarodkiewicz, and I've been in Japan 32 years or so, and I originally came to Japan and managed a restaurant called Santa Barbara. It was really a great place. It was three different sections, second floor, and it was like the foreign restaurant bar in Nagoya at the time. And we started to do live music, and we booked several, mostly rock and roll and Irish, of course, Irish music and Irish bands in Santa Barbara. Um, but the one thing that I really remember from the time, and I told the story today, was that I started this thing called Labatt's Blues Night, and I'm not sure if this is where you want me to go with this, but and I had convinced my staff to talk to our suppliers about having Labatt's Blues sponsor our music night, and that was, I think, one of the initial things I did in terms of trying to develop more music in Santa Barbara. And they agreed to do it, and they gave us a bunch of beer and some money and some advertising. And I wanted to at least have one or two blues musicians playing on Sunday nights. And I remember there was an individual I was told about out in Gifu who was playing, and I should go out and check him out. So I can't remember his name. It was Robert or something. He had a name of an actual famous blues player, Robert Johnson. Yeah, no, not Robert Johnson. No, but so I went out to Gifu and I saw him play, and I was so unimpressed. He had his songs on the back of his guitar, and he didn't really have a lot of great energy. And he called like a week later, 2 weeks later. I told him that, hey, I'm not really, I can't use you, and I gave him a response as to why, and he was like, all right, whatever, and I moved on, and I found some other bands, and I started to book bands like the Screaming Hormones and the Rising Pints and some other groups. And about 6 months later, I got a phone call from the same guy. And he said he wanted to come in and he wanted to audition again for Labatt's Blues Night, which was our weekly music night. And he showed up, and it was like he had sold his soul to the devil. He came in and played like there was no frickin' tomorrow, and vocals, his guitar, he had bought new instruments, and he had spent 6 months, I think, like his hands were bloody, from playing so much. And he started to play, and actually I always found it kind of rewarding that he put out an album, and my name had made it onto the credits a little bit, and then he got a contract to go play with a major recording label in Memphis. And but I always thought it was really exciting to have bands at Santa Barbara, and then when I transitioned to Shooters, we continued to have live music.